Welcome into Old Mountain Bricks. Today we'll be taking a look at the classic LEGO Modular Building Assembly Square. Set number 10255, containing 4,002 pieces, was released January 1st of 2017 and was the first modular building to be a base plate and a half wide. Looking at the exterior of the box, it was still released under the Creator Expert line. It does show the pieces on the side of the box, as well as some stories, which we'll go into in detail later. It was the 10th anniversary set that was released as part of the modular series, and on the side of the box, of course, does show the other modular buildings, which we've done here recently. As we look at the minifigures, it does have a number of them inside, all with different stories and backgrounds, which again, we'll show you in just a moment. What we are going to do today, I'm going to cut open the seals on this box right now here for you. We're going to build this set in a quick time-lapse speed build with some of my thoughts on the build process. I'm going to give you my detailed review of the set and the interior, minifigures, and other fun Easter eggs inside. So stay tuned and let's take a look at the set. As you saw, it did contain 34 total bags. We start, of course, with our Mills plate, which was different this time because we did, of course, have to make it a base plate and a half. It's the first one we've ever done there. Of course, you then start with the detailed tiling. A lot of fun details with this, with like the fountain pattern and some of the other exteriors. I did add a few jumpers of my own just to make things a bit more interesting and to help build some of the minifigures. I did this top-down approach just to help you see some of the details as we kind of go throughout here. Of course, then it is in like 3 main sections, but it's really 2 sections as you start to build up some of the details of the shops inside and then some of the walls, of course. That is a little older now. Again, was released in 2017, so there weren't a lot of crazy techniques used. I, of course, loved using like the awnings and the different colors there of how that was put together. That always makes a fun design when LEGO does things like that. We then swing it around to start working on some of the back of the details there and start on the next part of the floor here in just a second. I liked how I was able to slide this out of the way in order to start the next floors. You don't just build it all on top of each other, because that's one of the main features of a modular building is the modularity of being able to take things apart, get inside, because it is a closed back as opposed to like a play set, which normally has an open back. These modular buildings are meant to be more of a display piece, or of course go in our Lego city. We then start on the roof section there. Again, it's interesting that I thought this would be more of 3 main parts, but it was really 2. I enjoyed kind of the mixed use of colors because this is a unique set with some of the color usage. It's more of like condo style, as it's something we've never really gotten from LEGO before, with most of the older modular buildings being just 1 main building and containing like 1 set of color for most of the exterior. This one kind of did break it up a good bit. The other thing, as you can see, as I empty all these bags on my desk, that is part of just 1 step. That's something I do enjoy about the more recent sets where they actually individually number each individual bag. So you end up with 50 different named bags or numbered bags, which is helpful like when you do the Avengers Tower to kind of move it along there for you. Otherwise, you have to empty out like 8 bags onto your desk like this, and it's a little crazy as far as being able to get everything all organized and together to find the pieces you need. But overall, I thought this was a great set to build. Like I said, I've recently built some other modular buildings, so this one I didn't enjoy as much as some of the others. It wasn't like it was repetitious or anything, but it did cause a little bit of issues kind of just switching back and forth, and I didn't really get any of the main stories. I'm going to show you some of my details of the parts I did really enjoy in just a moment. As we start approaching the end, I was wanting a little bit more from the interiors, just because I've been spoiled by some of the older ones, or of course I've seen some of the newer ones that I haven't built quite yet, so stay tuned for that. But I just wanted a little bit more from it. After building like the detective's office and brick bank, I thought I wanted a little more, but I think it's still a great looking set from the exterior, so let's go ahead and finish this up and take a look. And here it is, Assembly Square, one of the biggest modular buildings ever up until recently, but it's a base plate and a half, obviously, and it's kind of 2 different sections. I always thought it was more of 3, which it is, but it's really got this gap here, so it's a building and another building. Turning it on its side, you can see just some of the detail, nothing too crazy, but I don't want to call it sloppy, but definitely, you know, interesting looking as compared to some other recent ones. The back actually looks quite nice. You can see all the lines look very nice and crisp. as well as it has like this outdoor stairs and everything, and in this little outdoor kitchen type thing. So that's kind of nice. As we continue going around, you can see we've got a few other things right there, but just a great looking set. There's a reason this thing was on the shelves for 7 years, maybe. It just was so popular and it just looks great. And it was the first modular building that was a base plate and a half. The new one that recently came out was the museum, or the Natural History Museum, which is also a base plate and a half. So let's look at the exterior real quick. We've got this nice fountain with some tile details out here. I remember seeing an interview about this a few years ago, that instead of brick building words like they've done before, they decided to use just like symbols. So, you know, the pretzel is like the bakery, and the roses is for the flower shop, and this little cafe is just this little cup, which is kind of a shout out to the corner cafe, if I remember kind of some of the detailing of that there. I like the use of the textures right over here, as well as this little dog just sitting right here. It's got 2 lampposts, and here's like the baby carriage. We'll take a look at the minifigures in just a little bit, but it's got some fun details. And again, you can kind of see some small doors in through here. 3 main doors out the front. As we were doing with the time lapse, I decided to do a little bit of a top-down view. So here's kind of part of the roof area. You can see it's got a little skylight and a little thing you can kind of flap open right over here, as well as just kind of the flat area and that little cafe we were just looking at. But let's start by taking off the first section here. That just comes off like that. And that comes off just like that. And what we'll do, I'll kind of bring it in here. Sorry about the light, but that's the way we can really see some of the details. In here is like a little piano or dance recital studio. And it does have the mirror piece that you can see reflecting. Just a really cool piece. I don't really see too many times other than inside the modular buildings. Not a lot of detail other than that nice little piano build and the minifigure there. Again, still with the blank smiles and everything, but the nice tutu piece and all that. But of course, this is modular, as it is a modular building, of course. So that all kind of clicks together. This is all one piece, surprisingly. You can see it's like a little apartment area. And this is my favorite part of this whole building already. So what this is in here is, it looks like a mother and a baby, but they also have a Lego city table there. You see, like with the orange car and the roads and some of the water going around, is what that's supposed to imitate. There's trees, looks like a little train up there going around. You can see in that corner, again, it's kind of hard to get in here and see it, is the Eiffel Tower right in there. Around the side here, a printed picture of the bridge up on top. These right here are meant to represent modular buildings. So you can see, I believe that's like the corner cafe, that's Market Street in the blue, which means it is an official modular building, just for the record. And then the green grocer right there. There is a little bed right here that can kind of unfold into like a couch into a bed type thing. Just kind of like that. And a little kitchen build and a nice toilet in there with some blue water. Okay, so let's take a look at the next floor. So that was like the 3rd floor. This one is the 2nd floor. Again, with 3 different stations, one with a minifigure in each of them. So you can see kind of how they all go together. So we'll start over here one more time. In here, looks like we've got a little music shop. Acoustic guitar, electric guitar, a little drum set. That was kind of a fun build. Got a nice little saxophone right down there. And the guy in his cash register, nothing too crazy, just got a red flannel on. Again, not too many details going on. Over on this side, we have got the dentist, and he's got a nice little printed window right there. It says, "Prevent yellowing," which of course is a joke about, you know, white pieces on Lego becoming yellow over time or in the sun. But in here, the fun part of this build was actually this little chair right here. All kinds of just little added on things, and things can swivel around, so that was really cool to do. But a nice little dentist's office in there with a little reception area and a few things to read. And over here we've got a little photography studio, kind of with like the white drop background and kind of an old-fashioned camera there. And this guy's got a fun hat and a nice big mustache on him, so nothing too crazy on that. Let me show you that a little closer. That now brings us to the main floor, which does have some tiling going on. So for this one, we'll take you mobile. Right in here, you can see this is like the bakery we were talking about. They've got some sweet treats in like the display there, a little oven that can be opened and closed, some others on display on the shelf there, and a big old wedding cake right there. There's kind of the view through the door. And as we walk right along, you've got some brooms and a shovel. This is the door here to open up. You can see like some flowers there and a little parrot behind there. It looks like they've got some nice fun flowers and such. But that door can go out that way and head right up those stairs, or we can go right into here, which this guy's got a nice tiled off area for this little cafe. Looks like we've got some slices of pie, looks like, but nothing else too crazy in there. But I love the detail of like the awnings and such. Just that's the kind of details I would never think to do right offhand, are things like that in order to get those fun colors in there and make it less blocky. But that's kind of the interior of it. So no big stories in this one like on the other one. I mean, they all kind of connect. You can see like they get the Lego sets and they kind of build it together, like the Eiffel Tower we were looking at. The dentist buys the flowers, gives it to the shopkeeper. They make a cake and bring it up here and make it, you know, for everybody in the place. They take pictures of the baby, they get the money, take it to the bakery, he buys the sweets, and then he's got to go to the dentist. This is the music guy who then also plays the piano and does the lessons for the ballerina. So nothing too crazy as far as like money laundering like we've seen before, but overall it's a fun set. You can see all the different modular pieces all together here. So let's go ahead and put it together and I'll give you my final thoughts. The iconic modular building, the first one that was a base plate and a half, there's a reason this was on the store shelves for so long. I mean, it was like, what, the 10th anniversary set? And, I mean, it was on there for at least 7 years? That's a long shelf life compared to a number of other sets these days, especially. But it just recently retired. Like I said before, there was a reason it was out there for that long. It's just an iconic-looking modular building. It kind of broke new ground on what a modular building could be, really kind of separating things out compared to some of the other ones that are focusing on, you know, one building or maybe two separate ones. This was multiple different kind of like apartment, condo style buildings and stuff with all types of things within. I really enjoy some of the color usage. You know, the sand blue always looks good. I love the textures created using like the nougat colors. It was a fun build experience, but not that great of a build experience as far as anything like super memorable compared to, I recently did the detective's office and the brick bank, and both of those I thought were way better, just more fun to build. And just the story. I mean, there's storylines in here like I showed you kind of earlier on the box, but not like it was, not with like the story going on with like the detective and the cookies and the candy and stealing money and things like that. I like the highlights to some other modular buildings, especially like the Lego room up here. I think that's really fun. It's kind of meta. You know, you're building a Lego room in your Lego room of the Lego room inside the Lego room, and you know, so it's kind of fun. It was one of the biggest ones yet, so there's something to that. You know, just got beat out recently by the museum, so I think it's a great one. It's not my favorite though, so take that with a grain of salt if you see it. I'd much rather have like the brick bank or the detective's office that I both recently did as compared to something like this if you have to choose between getting one or the other of these retired Lego sets these days. But I think that's going to do it for today. Leave a comment below what you think of Assembly Square. Is it a good modular building, bad modular building? I don't know. Make sure you leave a like on this on your way out as it helps the channel out. Subscribe for more content coming your way from Old Mountain Bricks. Until next time, thanks for coming by. Have a good one.